Hey friend, what if I told you that building wealth has less to do with how much money you make and more to do with how much time you give your money to grow? Most people believe that becoming wealthy requires a huge income, a lucky break, or some secret investment strategy. But the truth is much simpler. Many financially successful people understand one powerful concept that works quietly in the background year after year. It's called compounding. And once you understand it, you'll start looking at money very differently. Make sure to stay until the end, because I'll share a simple example that shows why starting early can be more important than investing large amounts of money. Let's get started. Imagine you plant a single seed. At first, nothing exciting happens. Days pass, then weeks. The seed finally becomes a small plant. Still, it doesn't look very impressive. Most people would look at that tiny plant and wonder if all the effort was worth it. But the real magic happens later. As the plant grows larger, it begins producing fruit. Inside each fruit are more seeds. Those seeds can be planted again. Now instead of one plant, you have several. Those plants produce even more seeds. And over time, growth starts accelerating. What began as a single seed eventually becomes a garden, then an orchard, then something much larger than anyone expected. This is the power of compounding. Small results create bigger results. Those bigger results create even larger results. And the cycle continues. Now let's apply this idea to wealth. Imagine you invest $1,000 into productive assets. Those investments generate profits. Instead of spending those profits, you reinvest them. The following year, your investment is larger. That larger investment generates even more profits. Those profits are reinvested again. Each year, growth builds on previous growth. Your money begins working not only for you, but also for itself. This is why compounding is so powerful. The growth isn't linear. It's exponential. At first, progress seems slow. Very slow. In fact, this is where most people give up. They expect immediate results. They invest for a few months, maybe a year. Then they become frustrated because they don't see dramatic changes. But compounding rewards patience. The biggest growth usually happens much later. Think about pushing a giant snowball down a hill. At the beginning, the snowball is small. Every push feels difficult. The snowball barely moves. But as it rolls, it gathers more snow. It becomes larger, heavier, and faster. Eventually, the snowball is moving with tremendous momentum. Compounding works in a similar way. The beginning feels slow. The ending is where the magic happens. Let's look at another example. Imagine two people. Sarah starts investing at age 25. She consistently invests a modest amount every month. John waits until age 35 to start. When he finally begins, he invests more money each month than Sarah. Many people would assume John will end up with more wealth because he's contributing more. But often, Sarah has a major advantage. She gave her investments an extra 10 years to grow. 10 years of additional compounding. 10 years of reinvested profits. 10 years of growth building on previous growth. Time can be one of the most valuable assets in wealth building. This is why many successful investors focus less on trying to get rich quickly and more on staying invested consistently. They understand that time does most of the heavy lifting. Now, here's something important. Compounding doesn't only apply to money. It applies to habits, skills, knowledge, health, and relationships. Let's say you read 10 pages of a good book every day. That doesn't seem significant. But after a year, you've read thousands of pages. You've gained knowledge that can improve your decisions and create new opportunities. Small actions repeated consistently can produce extraordinary results. The same principle applies to exercise. A single workout won't transform your health, but years of consistent exercise can completely change your life. Compounding is everywhere. The challenge is that humans naturally focus on short-term results. We want immediate rewards. We want visible progress. We want quick success. Compounding asks us to think differently. It asks us to trust the process, to stay consistent even when progress feels invisible. And that's not always easy. But those who understand this principle often gain a huge advantage. Let's imagine another scenario. A small business owner earns a profit. Instead of spending every dollar, she reinvests part of the profit back into the business. The business improves. Sales increase, profits grow, she reinvests again. The business expands further. Year after year, those small improvements build upon each other. What looked like slow growth in the beginning eventually becomes substantial growth. Again, that's compounding in action. Many people overestimate what they can achieve in a few months, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They focus on speed instead of consistency. They look for shortcuts instead of sustainable habits. They want immediate success instead of long-term growth. The wealthiest people often think differently. They understand that small decisions made repeatedly can create remarkable outcomes. A little saved, a little invested, a little learned, a little improved, day after day, month after month, year after year. Eventually, those small actions become life-changing. Now let's talk about the biggest lesson from today's video. You do not need to start with a lot of money. You do not need a perfect strategy. You do not need to be an expert. What matters most is getting started and staying consistent. The earlier you begin, the more time compounding has to work in your favor. Even small amounts can grow into something meaningful when given enough time. Remember the seed. Nobody looks at a seed and sees a forest. Nobody looks at a small investment and immediately sees wealth. But growth takes time. Patience is part of the process. Consistency is part of the process. Trust in the process is part of the process. And that's exactly why compounding has created so much wealth for so many people throughout history. Before you go, here's one final thought. Many people spend their lives chasing the perfect opportunity. But often, the greatest opportunity is simply starting today. Because every year you wait is one less year for compounding to work for you. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more practical finance and wealth building content. And let me know in the comments, what's one small action you can start today that your future self will thank you for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. Just click this red button below. Join our community for more great content. Thanks for watching.